This was a very interesting case to research for that unfortunately led to a dead end in the end of the investigation. I really hope we can find out more about who he was as a player, but until then, we just have to wait and see.
You know what we're here for? We found what we needed. Since I posted my video on First Off with a call to action, multiple of my subscribers came out and gave me valuable information regarding his existence, his account, and his performance in the game. And now that we have all the info required, let's put everything in order and find out who First Love actually is. Let's get started, shall we? First Love was a Korean player who started his rhythm game journey playing osugame. From a screenshot of his Twitch chat, he confirms that he's been an active member of the VSRG sphere for 15 years. After finding out about the existence of OS, he created his account on the 16th of April 2014 and began performing on a high level instantly. Immediately after taking the number 1 spot, he would break milestone after milestone, like for example getting 9k PP for the first time in osumania on the 15th of October. And I would also like to remind you that back in the day, there weren't a lot of maps to be played, so getting this much PP on your profile at the time was seen as the pinnacle of skill. It has been said that he was very competitive back in the day, usually going after the number 1 spots on the most difficult maps the game had to offer at the time, and the number 1s of players on low star rates. And we can actually present some examples here, like for example... Not only that, he was also a very active accuracy player. On every session he would play at least 200 maps, trying to achieve an SS on most of them. During the pinnacle of his career, he achieved more than 15,000 SS ranks on his account, which by itself at the time was pretty impressive to say the least. He's been cited to set many SS ranks in here, and here for example. In addition to all that information, due to his status as a number 1 and a score grinder, he became one of the few advocates for the removal of PP given by converts, which became a reality in the following years. He was also consistently streaming his progress on Twitch, which gained him thousands of followers, and at the time he had it all: the number 1 spot, a very prosperous career in the game, and a little advantage over other players. What could possibly go wrong? You might probably be aware of how every new upcoming top player is being accusated by a handful of people for abnormalities. Usually, those players brush those accusations off and move on as usual. Unfortunately, that was not the case with First Love. The cheating accusations made by other players started getting to him, which really started irritating him and started eating away at his confidence. That would go on for a bit until one day, he had an idea with irreversible consequences. He wanted to delete his scores and start anew, but how was he gonna do it? By getting OSU staff to delete his scores, of course. He messaged OSU staff numerous times to request a complete wipe of his scores, but his emails were left unread. They ignored his request, so he took it into his own hands and started doing some evil shit. And by evil shit, I mean that he boosted the accounts of others. At some point in time, his account was hacked. From there, it was rumored that the hacker wiped every single score that First Love has ever set. This caught the attention of the GMTs, who got his account finally restricted. He would post to Naver following the restriction, saying that it was what he wanted to happen because, quote, "it was what I wanted anyway." As a result of that, most of his scores have been lost to time, never to be recovered. Not only that, he was also due to go to South Korea's mandatory military service as well, which he did a little bit before his restriction. After he went to military service, his online activity would become more and more sporadic until he stopped posting to Naver completely, with his last post on there since 2018. He also stopped streaming on Twitch in 2019. The very last time he's been seen was in that same image from Jackass that we mentioned previously, followed by complete radio silence. And you might probably wonder where he's at currently and what he's up to. Basically, there are speculations that he's gotten married and is living a normal day-to-day life with his wife of 12 years. If that ends up being true, this would mean that he's escaped the grasps of Osu, ending his career on a very wholesome note. While scanning over all the info I was given, I also made a very horrifying discovery. At the time, there existed a ring of Korean players sharing accounts between one another to boost each other's ranks for quote fun, with First Love and likely JH Lee allegedly being a part of this group. According to what I was told, these players would share their account details in secrecy and would set the highest PP plays they could possibly get. In addition to that, I was also told that this was a fairly common occurrence between Korean players, and unfortunately, some of the current top players have also participated in this scheme too. I will not name anyone out of respect since I don't want to point fingers at anybody that could be innocent, but it means that a portion of the Korean 7 key players have been a part of it. I tried inquiring about information and was given 2 players that could probably give me more answers, but one of them confirmed they didn't know and the other couldn't give us more information directly. For now, what I've shared with you is what I know so far, so if there's anyone that happens to know about this situation, please leave a comment. What I am gonna say is that there is a likelihood of some of the top players we know and love being involved with this account sharing ring at the time. First Love seems like quite the dedicated player, be it the SS grinding, the convert farming, the constant number 1 snipes, he's done everything. Unfortunately, his ultimate disappearance into obscurity was also followed by the complete radio silence on his accounts and the complete disappearance of most of his recorded plays, and his name essentially being forgotten as time passed. I'm sure you might be asking the question, how the f are they lost when you've literally used them throughout the video? And my answer to that is, I was sent every single replay that First Love managed to record via a Google Drive. And trust me, he recorded a lot. I'll link them into the description whenever I can. With everything laid out, a question has to be asked. Will he return in 2024? The answer to this is most likely no. He's abandoned Mania since a long time ago and is likely to not pick up the game again. On top of that, he's a married man, so this makes it even less likely for him to come back. But who knows? Maybe if he gets the spark to play Mania again, we might see him do decently well in the ever-changing landscape of today and still be amongst the top 50. And this concludes the video on First Love, for good this time. His case was one of the least documented cases I've taken on, but with the help of some of the players of this community, we were able to find information and piece together the story of his top player status. I hope this video teaches you that not every top player is going to last forever, and that everyone has limited time to continue playing. I want to give a huge thanks to all of these amazing people on screen. A huge thanks to Dealer of Melons and damlano for the compiled information, and to the Korean players who provided me with information for the video. I'll keep them anonymous to protect their privacy, but their efforts are greatly appreciated and made for quite an interesting video idea. I hope to see you all next time.